Welcome back to the online sessions on fuzzy logic. So we are just continuing our discussion with control systems, and we have discussed about a closed loop control system where the output of the plant is being simply controlled by the error signal generated by this particular mixer circuit, and after compensating this error signal which is suitable for the plant to get controlled, and we normally going to get the output of the plant based on the controlling variables applied to the plant. Okay, so this is what basically a control system which we discussed. Now there are going to be two types of control systems in general, going to be called as regulatory type of the control system and non-regulatory type of the control systems. So in the regulatory type of the control systems, what is that we normally going to do? We simply going to control or keep a physical parameter as a constant, a physical parameter of the plant. There are something like the output parameter of the plant is going to kept constant irrespective of the changes of the disturbances which are normally going to happen in the plant. Okay, so that is what the thing which we are going to have. So therefore we can say how, in what situations, what is the objective of going for regulatory control system? If the objective of the control system is to maintain a physical variable at some constant value in the presence of disturbances. If the objective of the control system, this is the entire thing is nothing but a control system. Now if the objective of the control system is to maintain some physical parameter at a constant level, at a constant value, irrespective of the external disturbances, then the system is simply called as a regulatory type of the control system, or can be called as a regulator. So we thought of a negative feedback amplifier. So what is the purpose of negative feedback amplifier? The purpose of negative feedback amplifier is to stabilize the output response of the amplifier. So if you think only stability as the matter of concern, which is going to be the output of an amplifier. So in that sense, in the sense of stability, in the sense of achieving stability of the amplifier, we can call that particular control system going to be called as a regulatory type of the control system, where the stability is simply being focused. It has to be stable, right? So it has to be stable in terms of, usually we think in terms of the frequency response. The frequency response, we expect it to be stable, we expect it to be flat. So that means what, irrespective of the changes in the parameters in the amplifier, we want the output response in terms of bandwidth, in terms of the frequency response, going to be stable for us. So in that sense, the amplifier is also going to be the control system, or a closed loop control system which is employed in the amplifier circuit, is simply going to be a regulatory type of the control system. Okay, so now what are the examples of such regulatory control systems? It is going to be basically, an examples of this type is going to be automatic aircraft landing system, which we'll be discussing, which will try to discuss about this in this session, which is going to be an example of the automatic control system which has been designed by using the fuzzy controller system. Okay, so sometimes this type is also referred to as a disturbance rejection or a regulatory type of the system. So the room temperature control and autopilot are the basic examples of the regulatory controllers. So room temperature, that means we wanted to control the room temperature. So that means whatever may be the conditions, that is external conditions, I want the temperature of the room going to be the constant value. So that means here the physical parameter is going to be the room temperature, which is going to be a constant value. Whatever may be the temperature which is there at the outside or which is there in the atmosphere, I don't care, I don't bother, but I want my room temperature is going to be constant. So for that, we can use a regulatory type of the control system. Similarly, automatic uh, aircraft landing system also, we normally going to implement this kind of a regulatory type of the control system. So the second class of control system is going to be called as a set point tracking controllers. Set point tracking controllers. So in this scheme of control, the physical variable is required to follow or track some desired time function. See, this is a autopilot system, autopilot and automatic aircraft landing system. Two are there. So that means autopilot system is automatic aircraft landing system. So in the automatic aircraft landing system, there is going to be a pilot, whereas here it is, here in the autopilot system there is no pilot. It is totally been the flight has been simply driven by a remote controller. Whereas in the case of this automatic aircraft landing system, most of the time the decision is being taken by the system only than the aircraft, than the pilot which is there in the aircraft. So it is normally based on the set point tracking controllers. One is going to be regulated type of the controllers. So we can mix up these two applications for real time, that is autopilot and automatic aircraft landing system. These two can be simply mixed up to get an advanced pilot, to get advanced aircraft control systems. Okay, but here we are dealing with only the examples of it. So two types of control systems in general we'll be having in the case of the fuzzy logic applications. One is going to be regulatory type of the control system, other one is going to be called as a set point tracking control system. So this set point tracking controllers, in this scheme of control, what happens, the physical variable is required to follow or track some desired time function. Physical variable is normally going to follow or track the desired time function, and accordingly the output, the plant is normally going to behave. So imagine if the plant is going to be called as a aircraft, and the application here is going to be an automatic aircraft landing system. So the aircraft has to land automatically. That is what the application. So the aircraft, the decision of landing or not to land is based on the tracking mechanism, tracking some desired time function. It has to track the desired time functions. Based on the results obtained from the tracking of desired time function, the pilot is going to make a decision whether to land or not to land. Okay, so then that means what, the pilot is more or less is going to depend on the electronic system. This electronic system is going to make a decision based on the external variables, okay, or external atmosphere. Based on the atmosphere which is prevailing outside, the pilot is going to decide whether to take a landing or not to take a landing based on the parameters he received. That means if the weather conditions are all going to be neutral, are going to be in an equilibrium condition, then the plane is normally going to get landed. If the weather conditions are hilarious, if the weather conditions are going to be very dangerous, okay, then the plane is not going to land. The plane is definitely going to once again uh, uh, takeoff is going to take place before landing, and it will be simply revolving around up above the dangerous atmosphere of the earth. So thereby what happens is until the fuel is going to be there in the aircraft, the airplane is normally going to be making rounds in the sky, making rounds in the space. So that means what, the pilot has to make a decision about the fuel conditions, where it can land depending on the weather conditions outside. All those things are normally going to be there, which will be there in the hands of the pilot. So two examples which we can think of called as regulatory type of the control system, which we already discussed in the case of the negative feedback amplifiers while discussing about stability of an amplifier. So in that, the amplifier is normally going to have a control system which is going to be called as a regulatory type of the control system. So another application which we can think of going to be automatic aircraft landing system, where we normally going to use the set point tracking controllers control system. Set point tracking, so that means this is what another important application. It is best suited for the automatic aircraft landing type of the systems. Okay, now let us look into a control system design problem, uh, uh, normally preferred for a fuzzy logic control systems. Now the general problem of feedback control system design is defined as obtaining a generally nonlinear vector valued function h. So that means the input you apply to the plant is very important. That means what the input we apply to the, say if you think an example of an aircraft landing system, the input you apply to the aircraft is very important. So based on the input you apply to the aircraft, then the decision will be taken. That means the response is will be considered based on the type of the input is applied to the aircraft. That means what are the important parameters for this control system in general? The input to the aircraft are something like input to the plant in terms of generalized block diagram. So if you think in terms of generalized block diagram, the plant can be treated as a aeroplane. The plant is treated as aeroplane, and before the signal given to the aeroplane, you normally going to have the fuzzy controller system. This fuzzy controller system is normally going to give the various inputs to the aeroplane or a plant, and this plant is going to produce some output immediately. So then this output is simply being fed back by using a sensor to the input of the controller. An input of control is normally going to have the two inputs: reference input called as external applied input and a feedback signal. It is normally going to produce error signal. So here in our example we can treat the input applied to the plant is going to be some u of t, and the reference input known as the external input as something like r of t, and x of t is the signal we apply to the controller. So that means here what are the variables which are normally going to decide the input we apply to the plant? The variables are going to be obviously the time. With respect to time only, the aircraft is normally going to land onto the surface. So therefore time is the one constraint. Next one is going to be the reference input, error signal. That means based on all these things, the controller is normally going to have some application, have some process. It is going to undergo some process. So that process usually we represent by function h, because h is nothing but the transfer function. The transfer function is a mathematical representation of the process of a particular physical system. Okay. So now we normally going to design or write a model, mathematical model of the control system. So the general problem of feedback control system design is defined as obtaining a general nonlinear vector valued function. We have to obtain a generally nonlinear vector valued function, because vector valued function, that the response for all these things by a fuzzy controller, the response of this h of this function h of this h function is normally going to be called as a fuzzy controller function. Now the output of this fuzzy controller is always going to be non-linear in nature. It is not going to be linear because it is all based on the various parameters. Time is always going to change, and based on this, these two parameters are also going to change, and definitely it is going to give definitely a non-linear response. Therefore we can treat this as going to generally give a non-linear vector valued function. So the function, the function which has been implemented by a fuzzy controller is always going to be a non-linear vector valued function. It is not going to be linear definitely. So we can have a non-linear vector valued function as h of dot, where u of t, as I was talking to you, is the control input which is given to the plant or a process. So this plant in our case is going to be an aeroplane, and r of t is going to be the reference input, which is the desired external input applied to the system, applied to the entire control system. And x of t is the system state variable known as error signal for us. That means what, the system state variable might contain quantities such as the system position, velocity, and acceleration. So that means the system state variable error function depends on many parameters. Okay, so next is the feedback control law. This function h is normally going to support the feedback control law, is supposed to stabilize the feedback control system and result in a satisfactory performance. So that means the output should be a satisfactory performance output signal. So in case of a time invariant systems with a regulatory type of control, now time invariant system is going to be a most basic system. So we consider the most basic system with a regulatory type of controller where the reference input is a constant set point. Now the reference input is going to be a constant set point for us, and the vast majority of controllers is based on one of the general models given in these two equations, which is either full state feedback or output feedback systems. That means the feedback is going to be based on the state of the system. Now the generalized equation we can write as equal to u of t is equal to h of x of t. That means h of the h function is going to be called as a function which has been implemented, so that implemented by the controller, so that it can be given as an input to the plant or an aircraft. So u of t becomes equal to, I can write as equal to h of x of t. That means this h function is going to take the error function as the input. Then u of t I can write as equal to as a function of simply y of t or derivative of the y function or integral of the y function. That means here what is y of t? Y of t is the response of the plant. Y of t is known as response of the plant, and this function h is normally going to get implemented. This y of t of course definitely depends on the x of t in turn. So this y of t is applied, is processed in such a manner that based on the conditions y of t can be applied directly, or derivative of the output response can be applied, or integration of the integral of the output response is normally applied and used in the system function, used in the controller function in order to get the output of the controller, which is given as input to the plant. So this is what the basic thing which we're going to have in the response side. So where this y of t is going to be the system output response or a response function. So let us start with a simple condition here. In case of a simple single input, single output systems, what is the simplest system that we'll be having? Single input, single output is the simplest system in the world. Say for example, transistor amplifier. So in the case of transistor amplifier, we have dealt with a single input, single output uh, condition. So that's why it's going to be a simple single input, single output system. So simple amplifier, a negative feedback amplifier we discussed in the AEC subject is simply going to comes under the single input, single output system. And it is going to be a regulator type of the controller. So for such particular functions, a generalized function we can write. How we can write that? The function h takes one of the following forms, where you can write u of t is proportional to e of t. So obviously the input we apply to the plant is purely dependent on the error function. So when you equate it, now u of t becomes equal to kp into e of t, where kp is the proportionality constant, which depends on the type of the controller we normally going to use it here, or a system constants. Now like this, we can apply it to various types of controllers. If the function u of t derived is going to be proportional to the p controller or process controller, then we can have one more parameter applied here, which is going to be a integral function. So in general, the function is going to be two types. From the knowledge of pulse and digital circuits, we have a function representation. A function is going to be a combination of what? Particular integral and a, that means it is simply going to be a two function representation. One is going to be known as the stable response and a transient response. So this integral part is going to be a transient response. This part is going to be a stable response. So this transient response is normally represented by a particular integral. Okay. And this is represented by using a constant values. So this is what a system response we already dealt in the pulse and digital circuits. So for a particular controller, process controller, we normally going to have the entire system representation, which is represented in terms of the stable signal and a stable response and a transient response. So transient response we can take as a simply the integral function, and proportional to plus integral function we can have a differentiation function. This is the integral constant, differentiation constant. So we can write as e dot t, single differential component. So when you combine all these things, what is the system response you're going to get? We'll be having the combination of the integration, differentiations, and all this part is simply going to be the transient response. This is going to be the steady state response. So when you combine these two, we're normally going to represent the input we apply it to the actual system. So that means what? It is a generalized representation of a system by considering the feedback control systems. And we apply such a response to the fuzzy logic control system as well. That is why we're discussing all these things. Now, the overall output, the overall output of the controller, we can write as equal to U of t, which is nothing but the plant input, can be written as equal to some k1 into x1 of t, k2 into x2 of t, so on up to kn into x1 of n for a full state feedback controller systems. So we can write like this with various parameters, where the problem of control system design is defined as obtaining the generally non-linear function. This h of t is normally producing a non-linear function in case of a non-linear systems. So the coefficients, this kp, just now we discussed kp, ki, and kd in case of the output feedback systems. And the coefficients are known, no, coefficients such as k1, k2, k3 in case of a full state feedback control system for linear systems. So like this, we can represent the various outputs in terms of the coefficients of the non-linear coefficients and in terms of linear coefficients. So this is the simple representation for linear coefficients. This is the representation for non-linear coefficients of the control system. So let us try to go into the example of a fuzzy logic control system. And before the example, we discussed about the fuzzy logic in the previous session, where what is most important blocks in the fuzzy logic control system. The fuzzification process is an important task, and defuzzification process is also going to be a important task. So these two are the important tasks for us to really understand. So for fuzzification, what is so much important for us? It is a knowledge base which is so much important for us. So after that, inference is also going to be important for us. We discussed about 4 inference methods in our syllabus. Okay, so we will be using any one of those 4 inference methods in order to really going to get the fuzzification, uh, pure fuzzified values or pure solutions to the fuzzy sets. So based on the rule base. So like we have discussed, remember intuition, we discussed ranking, we discussed about order ranking, intuition, neural network principles. Okay, like that we discussed about inference methods. So one of the method is going to be the rule base. So based on rule base, we normally going to have the inference method, and accordingly we normally going to get the response of the fuzzy system. And after we get this response in terms of fuzzy logic, this is applied for the defuzzification process, so that a plant can really understand the fuzzified result of the system. So like that we normally applied the fuzzy logic to the closed loop control systems. And apart from the previous one, in the previous logic what you are seeing now, see this fuzzification, inference, defuzzification, all this is treated as a controller. Now this controller is normally going to be known as a fuzzy controller for us. And in the feedback block, after sensor, we have only sensor in the generalized block diagram. In the fuzzy control system, in the fuzzy feedback control system, we are going to have one more block called as output scaling factors normalization block, because there is a fuzzification involved here. That is why we're going to have extra block here in order to scale down the results into a value which is more suitable to the fuzzification process. So like this, we have got various blocks represented in the fuzzification process. Now, what is most important is that in the fuzzification process, we have to figure out the knowledge base for the fuzzification process. Means what? We have to figure out the member function. What could be the member function for a control system to process? That is very important for us. So after we get a member function, then we should have an inference system. That means we should apply some mapping kind of a thing. So this mapping we'll discuss by using FAM principles. So how we map this by using FAM principles. Then after we get these fuzzification values, then we perform the inference things to get a final fuzzy output, final response of the fuzzy system, and then defuzzification process applied to the plant. So this is what the process which we are going to do in the case of the fuzzy logic control systems. Okay. Now what we can think of is going to be like now I'll try to go with an example of a fuzzy control system. Now in this example, I wanted to go with the first example given in the textbook, and the textbook is normally going to be Timothy Rose, and I'll share this textbook to you. It is going to be Timothy J. Rose. Title of this book is going to be Fuzzy Sets and Fuzzy Logic with Engineering Applications, fourth edition. And this soft copy, I'll be sharing it to you. So from this soft copy, you can just prepare the notes for this particular example. Okay. Now the values what I'm going to represent in this are not so important, but the value should be taken into consideration based on the membership function which we normally going to have or which we are supposed to get. Based on that, membership functions, we normally going to put the values for the aircraft landing control system problem. Okay. So let us try to go with the aircraft control system problem now. Okay. So in this session, I'll try to go with how to, what is the aircraft landing control problem. Then in the next section, we go in detail with the aircraft landing control system. Now, the following example shows the flexibility and reasonable accuracy of a typical application in the fuzzy control system. Now, what is the application which we are going to have? So this is the example has been given. So it is an example of conducting a simulation of the final descent and landing approach of an aircraft. So that means the aircraft should land. So for landing, it has to come down its velocity, that is known as final descent, and landing should take place by the aircraft. So in aircraft system, landing is very crucial. Takeoff is not that crucial, but landing is going to be very much crucial. So therefore, landing is a very important control system, closed loop control system application. The desired profile is normally, now we should have some profile for the landing. That means there should be some predefined function should be followed, predefined value should be taken into consideration. So the desired downward velocity is proportional to square of the height. Now this is the condition. The desired downward velocity when the flight is going to land, the velocity of the flight is going to decrease as it is coming closer to the land. That means as the height of the aircraft decreases, the velocity also should decrease. That is called the desired downward velocity. Downward means what? Decreasing velocity is proportional to square of the height. This is the condition on which we normally going to figure out or design or simulate a control system, which is based on the fuzzy logic. Thus, at higher altitudes, a large downward velocity is desired. That means as the altitude of the flight is going to be high, then definitely large downward velocity is desired. That means uh, velocity is going to be low when it is close to the land, when velocity is going to be high when it is going to be at a more distance than the land. So as the height diminishes, that is altitude of the plane diminishes, the downward velocity also gets smaller and smaller. So in the limit, as the height becomes vanishingly small, the downward velocity should becomes zero almost. Should also goes to zero. So this is what the design criteria or design condition for the aircraft control system. So in this way, the aircraft will descend from altitude promptly, but will touch down very gently to avoid the damage. So while touching the ground, the aircraft should touch the ground very gently. It should not just bombard onto the Earth's surface. Okay. So that is how we have to really manage with the closed loop control system designed by using the fuzzy logic. Okay. Now, what is the profile of the aircraft landing system now? The desired profile of the downward velocity versus altitude is normally going to be like this. See, the flight is coming here. Let us suppose flight is flying at this height. Now, flight want to have a landing now. Now, for landing the flight, let us suppose the flight has started its landing from this point onwards above the atmosphere surface. Now, the flight is normally going to land here in a non-linear fashion. That means it is simply normal. It is normally not going to follow a vertical path. It is normally going to follow a parabolic path. That means what it is, the exponentially the curve should decrease. That means as the flight is going to land, it won't land vertically downwards. It land in a systematic manner, non-linearly. So as the, see, if you carefully observe this, this is something like downward velocity. Vertical it is going to be the velocity, horizontal is going to be the height. This is zero height, this is maximum height. So towards this side is going to be maximum height, towards right side of this particular thing arrow is height increases, towards zero is going to be height decreasing. So that means here the velocity, if you see carefully, vertical is the velocity line. So as the flight is coming closer to the ground, the velocity is also decreasing. So once it touches the ground, the velocity should almost become, downward velocity should almost become zero. That means the flight should compulsorily change its mode of operation once it touches the land. That means the mode of operation of flight has to be, mode of the flight is always going to based on the flight touching the land surface. So this is what the basic profile of the aircraft landing, profile. So based on this profile only, we normally going to uh, uh, discuss about the closed loop control system. Now for this closed loop control system, what are the parameters involved? Velocity v and height h. These two are the parameters which are involved in this particular process especially. So therefore we try to go with these two as the variables. Now we consider these two variables as the state variables for this simulation, and the state variables are going to be taken as height above the ground h and the vertical velocity of the aircraft called as small v. The control output, the control output will be a force. The control output will be a force that when applied to the aircraft will alter its height h and velocity v. And the output of the aircraft is taken as the control output, and which is taken as a force to the aircraft. When it is applied to the aircraft, it is normally going to control, alter its height and also its velocity. That means the decision of whether landing or not to land is taken based on this force parameter. Let us suppose. So now let us have an example now. Mass m moving. Now flight is going to have some mass m moving with a velocity v, has a momentum P is equal to m into v from the general physics. If no external forces are applied, the mass will continue in the same direction at the same velocity. If the mass is constant, if no external forces are applied, then mass will simply continue in the same direction at the same velocity. If the force F is applied over the time interval delta t, then there will be a change in the velocity. Force is normally, as the aircraft will be coming closer to the earth atmosphere, then the application of force is normally being applied to the aircraft, thereby there is going to be a change in the velocity of the aircraft, which depends on what now, which depends on force applied, which depends on the change in the time period and mass also. It is inversely proportional to the mass. That means as the aircraft is coming down, it is coming more closer to the earth atmosphere. Means what? The gravitational force of the earth will be coming into effect. Therefore the mass of the aircraft will be simply uh, decreasing with respect to the downward velocity is concerned. That means the as the aeroplane is coming more closer to the earth surface, the due to the due to the attractive force of the earth, what happens now? The mass is going to have inverse proportionality for the velocity. So that means here the velocity is simply going to have inversely proportional of this and directly proportional to the force and time period. So like this, we normally going to have the velocity changes. Now, if you write the mathematical representation in difference notations, what we can write this notation as something like v of I plus 1 is equal to v of I plus fi, and the height is going to be hi plus 1 is equal to hi plus vi delta of t. So what is height? Height is equal to velocity into time period, that we already know. Height is nothing but is equal to velocity into time period. So based on that simple principle, we have written this basic equation where vi plus 1 is the new velocity, vi is going to be the old velocity. Similarly, hi plus 1 is nothing but new height, hi is the old height. So these two control equations define the new value of the state variables, new and the fuzzy logic. So this is what these are the various parameters that we normally going to have and are normally going to consider in this process. Now, what is the story here? What is the moral? What is the parameters that moral parameters that we have to consider here? Most importantly, this is the aircraft, which is normally has to land now. So it is moving with a velocity v. Now presently above the ground level, it is having some height h. It has to land now. From this, it is going to take a parabolic path, non-linear curve like this. It will be following non-linear curve to land into the Earth's surface. So simple pendulum model for aircraft for landing is being considered with a mass m. We imagine that the aircraft is having some mass m and it is coming down. So while it is coming down, so it is simply going to follow the simple pendulum model. That means pendulum is normally going to oscillate like this, no? From high to low, it is simply oscillate and come to the ground level. So like that, pendulum movement is considered here to to apply this particular method for the aircraft landing systems. Now, what is most important is we have to figure out or get the membership function for the height, membership function for the velocity. See here, this is the membership function for velocity and height. So these two are the, see, so this is what the membership function for the height, and this is going to be the membership function for the velocity. Now these two membership functions are very much important for us to get the fuzzy output. That means the fuzzy systems are normally going to take these two as the inputs, and based on the belongingness, based on the various constraints applied onto these conditions, we normally going to get the output from the fuzzy systems. So in order to develop a fuzzy system, what is that we have to develop? Knowledge base has to be developed. So knowledge base is normally going to get developed from the membership functions. So here the membership function I am taking as a triangular membership function. So in the example of a aircraft landing system, so it is going to be a something like a triangular membership function is being taken. Now we have to simply figure out, that means these values, what values we are getting, 0.5, 1, 0. So these are all the approximate values. They are not going to be exact values. So keeping in view of this membership function, these values have been put randomly for height as well as for velocity. Okay. Now for height, what are all the various values for height you normally going to have? In a probability, you're going to have only two levels, 0 and 1 level. Whereas in the case of fuzzy logic, you're going to have multiple levels. See, height is going to be near to 0 is a height. Small, that means once you are more close to the ground level, it is going to be near to 0, almost about to touch the ground. Maybe 1 feet or 1.5 feet is going to be more nearer to 0, and it is more than more than 2.5 feet is going to be small, and after that more than 10 feet is going to be medium, and more than 20 feet is going to be large. So these are all the various heights of the flight above the ground level. So flight is normally going to have different heights with respect to the atmosphere, to the ground level. So that means what, we should get various member functions for various values, for various associative values that we normally going to consider. Okay, so keeping in view all these things, we normally going to have the things. See here, this is height. Height is 100 meters above the ground, 100 feet. It has been taken with just in terms of feet. It is at 100 feet. Now it is at 100 feet. What is that? It is considered as, it is going to be a small height. Up to 300 feet here considered as a small height. So up to 400 feet, up to 500. So that means from 300 to 800 is going to be going towards medium. That means medium is considered from 300 to 800. Similarly, non-zero means what? Small means what? It is considered from 0 to 800 is considered as small, and from 300 to 800 is going to be considered as medium according to this particular graph. So therefore, we are going to have various heights called as non-zero height, small height, medium height, large height. Similarly, we are going to have velocities, vertical velocities, up large, up small, zero velocity, down small, down large. So these are the velocities that we can consider. So velocities, when it is coming downwards, it is going to be minus. When it is going to be upwards, it is going to be plus. That means it is with respect to the velocity which is closer to the earth surface we are considering. So that means here on the x-axis we are going to have vertical velocity. On the y-axis we are going to have the membership function mu. Here also on the y-axis you're going to membership function mu. That's why we are getting the maximum value as 1. These values are varying between 0 and 1 because they are the membership values. Right. Now, how we can have this function now? Say the velocity. See, if the velocity is going to be 0, if the velocity is going to be 0, that means the reference is 0. It is going to be something like, your value, velocity value is going to be 1.0. If it is decreasing, then what happens? The curve is going to be down large. It is going to be down large for us. Okay. It is increasing, another point of discussion we're going to get. So down small, down large, and 0. So that means here this is minus 30. Minus 30 means what? The aircraft is somewhat at a feet more larger height above the ground level. Now, what should be the velocity? What should be the velocity of this now? Down large means the velocity should be very high because the height of the velocity is very high, 1. So as it is coming closer to the ground surface, then the velocity is decreasing. So like this, we are going to draw the various membership functions. So based on these membership functions, we can able to figure out these values. That is why in the exam also, what you better do is, you first draw these membership functions. So based on these limitations, approximately you just go and figure out the membership values for the velocity and the height. Okay, so this is how we normally going to form this particular table called as membership values for the velocity. That means we are assigning the values of membership functions to the values of we are assigning the values to the membership functions here. Okay, so this is what forming the knowledge base for the fuzzy control system. Okay, so in next section we proceed further with the aircraft landing system, and we complete the system of forming the aircraft control system. So thank you very much for the today's session.